What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the PS5 career mode. This is episode number 44. And we start today's episode off looking at our fixtures for January. As you can see, Brightford, who the hell are Brightford? Brighton, Watford, there's probably a team now called Brightford, isn't there? Brighton, Watford, Newcastle United away, and Spurs as well in January. Plus, we'll of course have the draw for the FA Cup 4th round in today's episode, and we'll play that tie as well. Out of the January transfer window now open, as you can see, our youth academy. Let's take a look at who's in our youth squad right now. As I briefly mentioned in the last episode, J Potts is going to get trained to an attacking midfielder because it does seem as though that's where he'll be his best. 5-star weak foot, 4-star skills. He has the best potential in the team as well, despite ironically being the lowest rated in the team as well. So he'll have a lot of development required to be a star in this team, but he does look really, really good, I must admit. And again, I think the reason his overall is quite low is because he should be playing as an attacking midfielder, and he's not really suited to be a defensive midfielder by his listed position, which his listed position is right now. So yeah, thanks to the comments, and we will indeed train him to be an attacking midfielder. So yeah, quite excited for that young man. Anyway, a look at our squad as well as we do enter January, and as you can see, it's a really thick team. It's a very thick squad full of tons of players that have come out of the academy. Obviously, a couple of veterans in the reserves we know in Adel Tarat and David Silva, the cycling GK on the bench as well. You know, it's quite a thick squad, but I am quite disappointed with how few players we've got out of the academy actually show real potential. I couldn't believe it when Birch came out of the academy, one of the highest rated starting overalls I've had for a player out of the academy, and he showed no potential whatsoever. So frustrating, but of course, as we know, we're grateful for the ones we do have. Bull, of course, being the star of the show right now. Josh, big Josh as well, potentially special. Cameron Wilkinson, despite relatively slow growth in his overall rating, has still been really good since he came out of the academy. And there's a few more as well that I show you here, like Dong Sung Yu, who just got a pro deal in the very last episode. We've got the other Korean winger as well, who also shows great potential too. Mark Bassi, of course, the Nigerian fullback. He's got the exciting prospect tag. So it took a while to start getting decent youth players out of the academy, but now we are starting to get a few that do look pretty exciting for the future. So as a running for the squad as well, to be honest, I don't know what we're going to do in this January transfer window, if anything. We've got around 7.5 million in the budget right now, and whilst we have had quite a few injuries to deal with, well, I say quite a lot of injuries to deal with, I don't really feel we need to make major change. Now, I know our form has been relatively inconsistent this season, but for the most part, you know, us being sat in 7th place, even though the game don't count it as a Europa League spot, it is of course the final European place in the Premier League table. We're into the round of 32 of the Europa League. We're into the 4th round of the FA Cup. We're doing okay right now. You know, we're doing all right. So to be honest, again, 7.5 million in the budget. I don't think there's any need to make major change to the team, even minor changes. I like the team as it is. You know, possibly, again, there could be one sale, possibly there could be one signing, but for the most part, I can't see us cashing in on Eddie Nketiah for 80 million and then signing a load of players to replace him. I just don't see that happening. But then again, you never know. You never know. Still, for the first game of today's episode, you would have seen a bid there coming from Brian Brobby. PSV wanted to take him back to the Netherlands. As we know, he's our third choice striker. I like him, but it is hard to get him the game time, Nketiah and Kelman ahead of him. But with Charlie injured right now, I'm not against accepting the bid. 12 million is a decent fee to get for a guy who's not had the greatest of goal to game ratio since coming in. But with Kelman injured right now, and as you know, we've only got 4 strikers, and the 4th of which is PG-13, who's played like 30 minutes of football since we signed him in Season 2. So yeah, I don't think now's the right time to cash in on a backup striker while we're in the middle of, I wouldn't say an injury crisis, but some problems with our depth right now due to knocks and injuries we've had. And yeah, for the first game of this episode is indeed Brighton at home right now, just above the relegation zone. Feeling very confident, but it took a long time to break deadlock in this game. Had a couple of great chances in the first half, including hitting the post, but with 14 minutes to go, Eddie Nketiah would give us the lead as he stirs the pot and makes it 1-0. I tell you, man, Eddie Nketiah and Charles Bull, as a duo, they are just absolutely unbelievable. I love them both to pieces. 1-0 QPR, and with 7 minutes to go, still leading by a goal, looking for the second. Nketiah just about gets away from his man. Eze finds Andy, back into Eddie, and Nketiah bags his brace and ensures the 3 points are ours with 6 minutes remaining. So Nketiah at the double, 2-0 to Queen's Park Rangers. Honestly, man, this guy is unreal in this year's FIFA. So quick and a clinical finish as well. And in stoppage time, holding on to the clean sheet as well. This would have been one of my favourite goals of this series so far. Look at this for a one-touch move up the other end of the pitch in a lightning quick counter-attack. That was brilliant, absolutely superb. No one needing to take a first touch, just a quick offload to a teammate and a really incisive breakaway. Sadly, after a great move, Noni pegs it back to Andy and the captain couldn't finish from close range as Matty Ryan makes the save. That would have been amazing there. Josh intercepting, playing back to Woodman, playing out from the back, and to get out the other end with that sort of pace was fantastic. Sadly, couldn't finish the move off and grab a third goal. Regardless, 2-0 the final score, back-to-back wins on the back of the win against Sheffield United as well. So delighted to start the calendar year off with a victory in the Premier League as we keep on chasing that Europa League spot. And directly after the game as well, I did decide to reject a bid for Brian Brobby again, just because right now we do have Kelman still down with a broken toe, and I really don't want to have less squad depth in the striker role right now, because if Eddie ever gets injured, we are going to be literally screwed. And also as well, we had a bid for Courtney House. Steve Bruce wouldn't budge on his initial offer, so because of that, I decided to say forget it. I like Courtney. Doesn't play as much this season, but since coming in, he's done pretty well. And as to the draw for the fourth round as well, we've got Norwich City once again, as Ben White is returning from injury here. Of course, the Canaries we knocked out last season in the FA Cup quarter-final on the way to the semis in what was probably the game of the series, actually, that 3-3 draw. Of course, going to extra time, and then, of course, the penalty shootout where the cycling GK at 40 years old made all those saves, saved every penalty, I believe, thinking about it. And yeah, that was a cracking game, probably just as exciting this time around, I'm sure. We'll take on the Canaries in the fourth round of the FA Cup. And so for our second game of today's episode, travelling to Vicarage Road to take on the Hornets here in Hertfordshire, looking to make it 3 wins from 3 in all competitions. And 12 minutes in, I mean, this guy this season, he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. He's got a vendetta. Last season, missing out on the Golden Boot by 2 goals. Don't tell me that's not extra motivation for him to bang in more this season. He's been unbelievable. Another goal for Eddie Nketiah. I love this run, by the way. Absolutely superb. I've talked about it this year. I do feel as though off-the-ball movement has improved in this year's FIFA, which is really important because, again, I've banged on about it for about a decade now. One of the most frustrating parts about EA's gameplay at times can be the lack of off-the-ball movement, lack of intelligent runs, static players off the ball as well. It does seem to improve this year. That was great from Nketiah there to open to find a space after spotting the dummy run. And soon after that, we double our lead. Noni Majuk, first goal since returning from injury, makes it 2-0. That was great to see. And not long after that, we get a third goal. And Nketiah with yet another brace. How many braces has he had this season? Eddie, give me one of those because I desperately need them. 3-0 though, half an hour in absolute cruise control at Vicarage Road here. Watford 0, QPR 3. And it's, you know, obviously I said before, I find it hard to score goals in this year's FIFA. But when I have games like this, I'm sitting there with a massive grin on my face, and I was until this moment. 41 minutes in, Charles Ball trying to get away down the left-hand side, hits the deck, and whilst he would stay on the pitch for a while, eventually I'll take him off due to fear that I'd exacerbate the injury, but not before he'd bag his 3rd assist of the game and get a hat-trick of assists for the first time in his career as well, crossing the ball into the centre, and who's there to turn it in from close range? Oh my word, what a signing he's been from Crystal Palace. Abrechi Eze makes it 4 for the R's, and that was how the game would finish as well. Watford 0, QPR 4, a brace for Nketiah, 1 from Majuk, and 1 for Eze as well, in what was an almost perfect game. Everything went according to plan, apart from the injury for Charles Bull, who, as you'll see, is going to be out for 3 months. Broken toe for the ball. Every season of the save so far, he's had at least 2 months out of football due to an injury, this time 3 months, and what a campaign he's having. 12 assists and 5 goals in 21 Premier League games. As things stand, on course for his best season ever. He's now grown to 82 overall. I love how his technical stats have increased, but unfortunately now we'll miss him for the next 3 months, and we won't see him again until April time. That is absolutely gutting. Right now, leading the way, trying to retain the assist title and win it for a 3rd straight year, but down for 3 months, and now the pressure on Nketiah's shoulders is going to be even bigger. These two, I wouldn't say they've been carrying the team because we've had loads of players performing brilliantly this season, but Nketiah and Bull, as we know, the stars of the team now. Nketiah is going to miss his right-hand man, and he's going to have to play at an even higher level than he's been playing at so far this season. Leading the way in the race to the Golden Boot, we'll need more from Eddie now, between now and when Bull gets back from his broken toe. So for the third game of today's episode, taking on the Magpies here in the Premier League, right now having a great season, in 10th place I think it is in the table, and doing quite well, and still not without a shot at making a Europa League place come the end of the season. We would take the lead through Big Andy Rinamotta, the captain, making it 1-0, and I tell you what, man, this guy only scores nice goals. He scored like 4 goals in the series so far since we bought him in on transfer deadline day in season 1 back in January, and every single time he's found the back of the net, it's been a cracker. Another one there as he makes it 1-0. He take the lead, but unfortunately Hilaire would make it 1-1, and the Magpies would find their leveller around half an hour into the game. This game started off frenetic pace, but it really did die down in the second half. Not much after that in what was a 1-1 draw, and unfortunately a relatively disappointing slip up there at the Kind Prince Foundation Stadium. Again, the Magpies playing quite well this season, only a few points behind us in the table, but I really feel as though if we're going to have any chance whatsoever of finishing in that 5th place which the board won and overtaking Chelsea to finish there, then those are the sort of games we need to win. We need to win pretty much all of our Premier League games at home this season against sides that are below us in the table right now. So 1-1 draw there, but looking to get back to win ways against Norwich City here in the FA Cup 4th round here at Kind Prince Foundation Stadium, taking on the Championship side, feeling very confident indeed, and 40 minutes in we would have our lead. I thought we'd score before that. Max Aarons sent down the right hand side, stepping in as well, looking for his first goal at the club. Would have been scenes that he got it against his former team. Unfortunately, less said about the finish the better, but 39 minutes into the game we went 2 goals up, and the guy that got both of those goals, Brian Brobby. Yes, as we know, if Kelman's still down with a broken toe, he's our second man on the bench right now for the striker role, and again, I said it before, doesn't play much. When he does play, he normally does quite well and bags a goal as well. 2-0 the final score, Brobby at the double as we get ourselves a 2-0 victory and make it into the 5th round of the FA Cup, and once again, for the 3rd straight year, we're into the last 16, and I've said it whilst we're in 6th place in the table right now, only 3 points behind Aston Villa and 10 points behind Spurs in 4th. Not sure we'll have any chance of breaking up the top 4 this year. I want that FA Cup. I want to win it once again. Got a great record in the competition. I want to retain it after winning it last season. But that was this episode of the PS5 Career Mode, guys. So big thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed it, and if you have, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you for the next episode of the PS5 Career Mode, featuring the big game against Spurs and also transfer deadline day as well, very soon.